Good Monday afternoon to one and all. Thank you so much for joining me today on Viewpoint. Wendell Moore here with you, along with my guests. Just to give you an update, we are streaming live on tvcarib.com. You can go to tvcarib.com on your Google browser. And when you get there, you can follow the conversation by clicking on Listen Live. That's when we are on, and you'll be able to see the faces behind the conversation. You also can get to that streaming via my website, cmojournal.com, CMOOREJOURNAL.com, and there you can follow the conversation as well. As soon as you open the page, there's a banner right at the top. You just click on it. It says Live Viewpoint with Wendell Moore, that is, and you can get in. All right, with that said, I'm here with the UP faction leader in the Parliament of St.Maarten, MP Omar Ottley, and he, of course, is here with me to have further discussions on, well, what of course is going to be the big topic that most people have been talking about. But where do we go from here? Because I believe that is what we need to put our energy in. I believe with full knowledge of what is required of us all. And that's why I suggest that everyone should get a copy of the Constitution of St. Maarten. When you understand what's therein, when you understand the civic lessons there, you understand what your role and responsibilities are. And then other things can happen. And when it does, you're able to figure out what's the right way forward. With that said, I think that was important to get it across. That book, by the way, you can get it at any of the bookstores, Van Dorp, Family Bookstore, as well as Adolphus Richardson. And it's available. You can get it. It's the English version of the Dutch text. Let me just make that clear. MP Ottley, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you as always.
Thank you.
And we're going to clear the air with the big topic of today, which is the Parliament of St. Maarten, which is the majority,
Yes, sir.
sent home one of the ministers that was apparently liked by most people and felt that he was in good standing as far as his relationship with the public. You voted for him not to be gone.
Correct.
But with all that transpired, what do you make of it? And secondly, how much does that help us and you as a representative of the people doing your job?
Well, first of all, let me say everyone has a right to vote their conscience. That is important. Voting your conscience. Not voting to get along. Not voting for chaos. And that is what people, need to understand the bigger essence of it. And I say that because when you hear members of parliament, senior members say, we are sending you home because it's political. That is not voting your conscience. That was blatant, bold-faced politics. And we are politicians, and politics will be played, but at whose expense? What we believed as opposition, as you can see, and I can only speak for myself and United People's Party, but members of opposition did bring a motion of disapproval. Mm-hmm. We believe...
A second motion.
Yes. A motion of disapproval, for those who don't know, is a warning. It's saying, hey, Minister, we do not approve of these actions. Buckle up, or next time, you're gone. And I want the public to pay attention to certain things. When politicians speak, we all have the right to change our mind, but be wary of when they speak and versus their actions. So we have many senior members in parliament, and we read out a lot of text. For instance, when Emile Lee was fired by his own member, Luke Mercelina, MP Sarah Westcott said, shame on the opposition. You are promoting young local entrepreneurs or local persons, and you are firing Emile Lee. Those were her words. MP Lacruz got up and he reminded of those words. Today, full circle, because it's politics, we got rid of a young local professional who actually was trying. Everything was not perfect. Don't get it wrong. I had my queries. I had my issues. But of course, I'm going to be extra vigilant, extra critical, because I was also Minister of ASR. I know there was a lot more things that could have been done. I know there was a lot more things that were on the desk of the minister that could have been done. If I were to vote for him to go, it would have been based on performance. But he has not done anything performance-wise for me to warrant him going home as yet. Hence the reason we said, hey, disapproval. Ethical, wrong. Legal, we don't know. So, the minister, what we saw, and I want the public to be wary, this was a URSM fight. This was the board stretching their political arm cross boundaries. This started with the minister and the board. The board doesn't want the minister there. They start to put the minister in a box. And everything came out during Parliament. And then, what backfired, pay attention, Wendell. The minister was placed in a hot seat for integrity issues. Until he said, oh yeah, and opened the Pandora box on the Prime Minister. The difference is, when he opened the Pandora box on the Prime Minister, there was black and white. There was proof. The Prime Minister's meeting is still to come. There's no denying what was said. There's proof, black, white. No, this is not allegations. What is good for the goose will be good for the gander. The precedent was set. That is why, if you listen to the motion has nothing to do with integrity. The person that read the motion, MP Waiver, could not even motivate properly the motion. Because he did not read the motion. Or write the motion. Sorry. The scapegoat. The reason they tried to stray away from this whole integrity issue is because we realized, oh God, the Prime Minister own is bigger, deeper, worse. Think I'm lying with them? Thursday, the minister sent some confidential documents. Of course, I can't speak on it here. But when they realize how hot these documents get, I think we should postpone the meeting. We should postpone the meeting because where this going, we don't like. This is the Parliament. This is the chair of Parliament. No, we postpone the meeting to protect Master Leader because we know what is coming. We can speak on it on the floor of Parliament. We can. All of a sudden, tell me this makes sense. We're going to discuss with the minister to see when he can come back. But then you fire him the next day. So who's going to give us our answers? Who's going to give us our questions? The next minister that is being placed there is being placed by Marcelina. You think we're going to get those answers? You think we're going to get those documents? Cover up. But he has to come back to Parliament. And we will see when that time comes who is for integrity, who is for corruption, who is for abuse of power.
A lot of those details make very little, means very little to the general public who's looking at this from the outside. I guess what transpired, someone get the dirty end of the deal.
Yes.
And somebody is pointing fingers somewhere. As far as the opposition is concerned, you probably had little to do with the exception of the alternative motion.
Yeah, correct.
You had little to do with what was happening, but that kind of practice, what it does to a people, really.
But again, when I said LMG, Luke must go, now I'm getting messages and say, boy, you really was a visionary. You have to know the people. What you see with me is what you get. Like it, don't like it. I understand, Wendell, this is very important. I understand that you will never please everyone. And I understand that I could get 4,000 votes tomorrow. Highest in history. But you still have 15,000 or 12,000 that didn't vote for you. Understand what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. So what happened now? Let's look at history. Immediately didn't dance to his tune. He had to go. Rolex Jr. didn't dance to his tune. He had to go. Mauricia, all of them on his team, members, didn't dance to his tune. Wendell today, they was gone. Turn around. Brooke, he's gone. That is the modus operandi of the Prime Minister. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah. Does his profession have, in your view, anything to do with his affinity with the ministry? And when you were there, did you at any time had to deal with him on anything?
No. His profession has nothing to do with it. If you wanted that, then he should have been Minister of VSI. Power is a drug. That's why we see politicians don't want to leave go. We would see members in the Senate on a breathing tube, 98 years old, still there breathing, don't want to let the next generation in. Power is a drug. And I say that because, do you know the changes that the Honorable Prime Minister could have made being Minister of VSI, I guess? If that is your passion, because Emily was VSI, so you want to be in the government but micromanage VSI. I had more conversations with Emily when I was a minister than Luke Massanina. I had one meeting, one conversation with him, and it was about how he wants, how he see the big to go. Not that, minister, this is how we cut a line. This is basically, this is how I want it to go. Then you should have been Minister of VSI. If Prime Minister is so boring that you have to go into the Ministry of Justice, go into the Ministry of VSI, go into the Ministry of Romy. And this is a constant complaint.
So but indirectly, doesn't he have, as Minister of General Affairs, doesn't he have notification or notice of whatever changes or whatever policies that are being put in place?
As chair of COM.
Yeah.
As not policies, as chair of COM, he knows what's on the agenda, he knows the point, but that doesn't give no authority. He has no authority to meddle in the minister's activity. No authority. And also no authority to hold agendas off of COM for personal interest.
This is so unclear when it comes to the general public understanding dynamics. I wonder, where do we go from here now? We are basically what you call recycling some of our best people. They all have been. Look in the parliament right now. Almost all of the members of parliament have had a stint as a minister, some way or the other.
So you have a couple of things. One, where we go from now is the narrative. That's the direction that the leaders of this country. I am a leader of the country, but I'm not in government. Let's make it clear. The ones that steer this ship are the government, the ministers, the coalition. Example, I brought motions. I brought ministerial regulations on relief for GB. Things that we did that could have been done again. I brought different assist the government. If they do not execute, it's nothing I can do. They steer the ship. And right now we headed straight to that iceberg. It's inevitable. No budget. Crime. Out the roof. VSI, right now, okay, we see it, and I said it was going to happen. Hospital, they come out, major issues. Anybody could go up. A structure can go up. It looked nice. But I knew the intricacies. I knew what was going to happen. Vromy, mess, place, dirty, no cleaning contracts, dump overflowing, roads deplorable, no new projects. These are not things I'm making up with them. So the public is right to ask, where are we going? Gas through the roof. I saw it coming. I said it. But there were persons who were there who, when they came here maybe 2-3 times a week when we were doing the GB. Because it was not about GB, and I said it's about fuel. If we put a lock on fuel, we put a lock on everything. Oh, you were there 4 years. You were there. You were there. You were there. We there. Those who you were there. Now everybody feeling it. So what me being there have to do with what everybody's feeling now? I ain't there now. You put people there for a reason that you think could have fixed the problem. At some point, we, the public, have to assume the responsibility as well. Because I don't care if you like me, don't like me. If I give you the cure for cancer, you will say you don't want it because I was there 4 years. Because it took me 4 years to figure it out. As a matter of fact, I want the people to understand. If I have a good idea and I was playing politics, I wouldn't even have bring it to this government. You know why, Wendell? People remember who do. I could jump, scream, rant, rave, do all kind of laws. The one who carry it out will get the praise. So when I'm giving something to the minister and you say, oh, all of a sudden you know, that's me doing my part because I could hold it. Because guess what? The worse this government do, the better for me. But who suffers? Who suffers? The people. When you have an MP that cares, that, listen, MP Rolando Bryson, when he was there, former MP, bring the UTS law. Bring the UTS law, sell the money, pay the police, let's do it. Who benefited? The minister that carried it out. People look at who execute. So when I do these things, when I spend money, when I pay lawyers and give ministers stuff, the people, few gonna remember I did it. They're going to remember who. Today, tomorrow, let election call now. I bet them miraculously find a way to give the people relief. Let election call now. And you know what the thing is with them? They'll find a way to give the people relief. And the people that get the relief, they ain't going to look at it as a ploy. They're going to say, yeah, get the relief. And they're going to praise them and vote for them. Because who feels it, knows it. That is where we are.
Move on from this and the other things that are at hand. I wonder, when are we, first of all, what is the hold up with the budget? Are we getting one for 2026?
They said it's supposed to be coming in, I don't even know when we're going on break just now. It's supposed to be in June. It's supposed to be in June.
Mm-hmm.
We're 6 months in. So it's supposed to be coming. We're going to IPCO. I guess when we come back, we'll see. And, you know, a lot of things that...
These discussions don't come up in IPCO meetings?
The budget?
Yeah.
It will come up. And the coalition will have to defend that aspect. I am not going in IPCO if it comes up to defend that aspect. That's not me. The members that are leaving are going to have to discuss that
because they look at that as mismanagement.
Mm-hmm. And then what they'll do is say, okay, and then they'll be like, yeah, the CFT requested us to go back. The CFT requested. I'm assuming those are the excuses. I don't want to make no excuse for them. They would have to figure it out because I don't want no one listening or viewing to hear what I'm saying and think for 1 second that I am making excuses for them. They will have to paddle that.
But you have pioneered on a couple of occasions, one of which I know is when it comes to revenue generation measures.
Correct.
The what you call the tourist
levy.
Mm-hmm. What has happened to that, and whether or not it is understood that it's supposed to be a revenue generating measure, which is something that we need.
It is the main revenue generating measure that they themselves are waiting on. The home run that this government is waiting on is something that I put there. When you looked at the St.Maarten, I urge you, go on the SAID website. When the SAID put out a list the last time of documents, matter of fact, we don't have a SAID now. That we're gonna touch that. The Prime Minister didn't do his part. We don't have a SAID. But when you go on the site that they put out on the pending documents, all you saw was Ottley. Ottley works. Ottley get it done. Ottley when he was a minister. Ottley as an MP. This isn't me making it up. This is not me making it up. Because I always say you will not outwork me. None of them will outwork me. I don't go, when I speak and I leave my mark. I don't go parliament every day to grandstand. I do my work. Take my money, pay my lawyers, amazing staff. We work through and we push. And the proof is in the pudding. But now, being in opposition, all these laws or whatever I'm bringing, I have to wait now for the chair to bring it to the floor of Parliament.
It passed through the SARE
They
already.
have to, but they decide when it's coming. They decide the agenda. So if they don't want it on the agenda, it won't be on the agenda.
Yeah, well, maybe they don't benefit from that. What is the problem with the SARE?
So they said,
Make it let folks understand
Okay.
the role that they play, because this is
the
important.
SAD is very important. The SAD is the advisory body, the social economic advisory body, business and employer-employee union. So when you make laws, certain things that affect the market, you have to get advice from the SAD. Have to, as your law will not go any further. Okay, there are some that circumvent the SAD that say you should, but there are laws that say must. So with there being no SAD right now, everything is stagnant as far as laws. That's what's happening in this country.
And
now.
why there is no SARE?
There's no SAD because renewal of members and so forth had to take place.
Okay.
And the Honorable Prime Minister, and I saw letters. I saw, Prime Minister, we're urging you. Prime Minister, we're urging you. They don't understand. The country is stagnant. Stagnant.
It is his competence to make sure the SARE is functioning.
100%. When we were there, let me bring this up. When we were there, the SAD also was not functioning at a point. I'll tell you why though. The SAD consists of the employer organization consists of the SHTA mainly. That is the employer organization. And the council, the Chamber of Commerce created a SIA where this was a local employer organization, 500 plus members, huge. The fact that the chamber was involved, they viewed the chamber as a government entity, and therefore that created a court case with conflict of interest. The SHDA didn't like that, of course, and it went. And it went all the way to Geneva for
Scrutiny.
yeah. And I had to go defend it. Now, what they were using were the Prime Minister at the time, Severia Jacobs, allegedly, this is what they said, told them, you guys should create a local employer organization. Sounds good to me. Sounds amazing. But the fact that the Prime Minister said it, allegedly, they viewed it as conflict. So that was the issue. That issue was because the local employer organization, which ended up being the biggest organization of 500 plus members.
SHTA.
No,
Yeah.
this was SIA.
Oh,
SIA ended
SIA.
up bigger than SHTA. You understand? Bigger. So with that now, it was so hurtful because this was a beautiful thing. This was, grassroots, local, like we see the association being formed, the consumer protection. This was a grassroots employer, like the me, the you, Johnny under the tree, who have the shop, local. They were now involved in the decision making. A beautiful thing. But how it came about created an issue.
Okay.
That's the difference. You see the difference? Now here, it's just lack of decisiveness. Whether you want to put your own people, whether you holding off because you want to get rid of certain people to carry your agenda. I don't know. But lack of decisiveness. The black and white is there 100% where the SAD has been warning over and over and under. Prime Minister, a decision needs to be taken. Prime Minister, this is going to happen. But again, now the whole country is stagnant.
Yeah.
So
So
when
it
it come-
stalled an important function when it comes to
Yeah.
giving advice towards law proposals.
So when they come for budget, you can't come tell me about, oh, this law is coming, this law is coming. You can't come tell me that unless it's there already made. But nothing ain't coming from scratch, or nothing can come from scratch if the SAD is down.
The minimum wages, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is something else that I know you worked on. Took a lot of flack for it. But, I'm looking at the positives when it comes to some of the initiation that you put forward, which I think is good. But at this point in time, means very little to our people, especially with the cost of living moving in what direction. any discussions at all with the former minister that were ousted about making further adjustment to that?
No, they were just going with the flow. That is one thing that I didn't agree with. I mean, okay, of course you carried it out. So when I was there, I put that every year it must increase, and then also did it for pensioner because pension law said it should. When I was there, I adjusted it and said it must. So whether I'm there or not, my mark will be left forever because every year pension has to increase because of Omar Ottley.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes
The minimum wage as well.
yes, but when it comes to the minimum wage, what I did is I circumvent an article that I, of course, this is why the IPCOs and those things are so important. I learned this from QSO. There's an article that allowed the minister to set the minimum wage for a period of time. He can also he or she can also lower it. I used that article, and the first time I did the indexation, and the other time I used that article and I did it higher. Because if I didn't, the indexation is only from the previous amount. Let me just give people a clear example why I did that. If the minimum wage is based on a CPI, consumer price index, cost of living goes up 2%, your wage goes up 2%. I had a fundamental problem with that. If I am drowning, again, I use this analogy so much time, in 10 feet of water, and you lift me up 1 feet, but then you raise the water 1 foot, sorry, my English, 1 foot, and you raise the water 1 foot, I'm still drowning. What you have to do, raise the water 1 foot and raise me up 2 feet. I can breathe.
Yeah.
That is what I learned. So I did that to give us a breathing room. Again, I couldn't go. You still have to go within the realms of discussion, SHDA, Business Association. They fought me. Not only them, but I understood. But I said, guys, before, there were no indexation for 7 years. Then the minister did it and did it by 1 cent before me. When I did the indexation, I said it's only fair. And what we were working on was the livable wage. It's there. That's why those things were upset with the minister. Now I see he put it out. Because we went and they said we don't have enough advice to give you data, to give you advice. We then went, I was the minister of TEAT, started the census. Let's gather this information so that we can create a livable wage. So St.Maarten, a minimum wage is not the government saying this is what you have to be paid. A minimum wage is just the government setting, hey, this is the limit somebody could be paid in the country. That's it, full time. So a lot of people have it as, the government got a minimum. No, the employers are choosing to pay you the minimum wage. Let's make that clear. The employers are saying, oh, that's the lowest that we could pay somebody. Well, we're going to pick the lowest. They are paying you the lowest, and you, of course, with the situation, you're agreeing to it. But a minimum wage is not what you must be paid or you are supposed to be paid. It's what you could be paid.
But because of that cultured habit,
correct,
it demands that the government go higher than by law.
That's what is happening. Because then what you're saying is, well, I could pay you the lowest, which is legal, and I'm gonna pay you that, right? And the government uses their apparatus and those things, but I don't agree with the formula. That's point blank period. Again, if we want to change the formula now, right, we got to go through the process, laws, and so forth. That's why I circumvent and brought it up to the 1,000. Okay, as we'll still be at 7 something. Let's be realistic. With a livable wage now, livable wage is saying this is what someone needs to survive in St.Maarten.
And how could you determine that?
That it was done, well, we started the process of the information, gathering the census. A lot of people didn't want to answer the census either. They were setting dogs on people. They were throwing water on people. They bad. So again, information is important.
But isn't there any provisions in the law to circumvent that type of behavior?
No, I mean, yeah, but we can try. And then there were people who would not answer because they think they're immigration. But we got the data. We got it done. It was a process, but we got it done. But then I'm not there, so they have to carry it out.
Yeah,
everything is there on the table for them to carry it out. You use the information. You establish a livable wage. So what might happen is you might realize that it might say to survive in St. Maarten, a person needs $2,000. So what they do, they take the basic rent. For a one bedroom example, I'll be like, when you live in a one bedroom, how much you paying? Just an example. And you say 800. How much are you making? You're gonna tell me $1,000 minimum wage. I'll say, how much do you spend on food? 200. How much do you spend? Do you drive? No, I catch a bus.
Two
How
what?
much is
200?
Yeah, just an example. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a bad example.
Okay, 400. So, how much do you spend on the bus? You take all this information for Winner who lives by himself in a single apartment, a single man, and you say, why? In order to Wendell to survive, basic needs, basic, GB, just to survive. I ain't need to know what you spend on your clothes, and your basic needs, your entertainment, basic need. For Wendell to meet his basic need, the average person out of these 100 people, for them to meet their basic need, they need $1,500 a month. An example, example, St. Maarten. And then that would then go through the process, and then you need to know the effect that it would have on the market, the effect that it would have on employers. But then once it is law, you have to pay someone that amount for full time, and that is the livable wage. Because now what we created was saying this is what is needed to survive in St. Maarten, to live in St. Maarten.
You don't think that is important though, and
Very.
that process should be handled? Because if you understand what people are going through, you would definitely do whatever is possible to try and help.
When you ask if I think it's important, you remember I just tell you, right? When I was Minister of VSI, I submitted to the SED to ask about it. They said they don't have no data. God bless me in the position that I was also Minister of TEAT. We immediately started the census, gathered the data, and then, okay, election came. But it's there. Then you see last week, the minister put out that now he was working on it last week. Because it's there. It's there. That's why certain things are critical. So, again, I believe right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't expect everyone to be perfect. I had my faults when I was in the ministry. You understand? And I'm not going to sit here like, of course, I'm never going to say he was the best minister in the world, because I believe I was the best minister of VSI. But I was critical. But he was willing to take steps and get things done. Not everybody.
And that's why he hurt so much.
Yes, because he's willing to take steps. And when you're willing to take steps, I have no choice but to commend you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let me take a break.
To get things going.
MP. All right, folks, you're listening to Viewpoint with yours truly. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue a conversation with MP Ottley. As governing is concerned, of course, they sit in the opposition benches in Parliament, but they all continue to play their role overseeing the progress of the Council of Ministers, who are responsible for the day-to-day affair of the country. All right, MP, a couple of other things that I was just wondering, how fast are we working towards really giving hope to our people that we can survive on St. Maarten, especially with these outside factors that are affecting us at this moment? We're seeing increases in cost of living. GBE is also affected by it, and that's one of the areas that people were anticipating some type of hope that they would get a break there. And all of these things, with all that energy going into Parliament and the firing of ministers, how soon are we going to work on those?
When I was here on your station the other day, and I brought some facts, and I brought different.
Hold on a second. I think someone maybe have a question. Caller, you have a question for the minister?
Yes.
MP.
Listen.
MP, yes.
In Bonner had a politician who died named Yopi Abraham. He said, if you don't know how to give service, then you shouldn't be in politics. And that's the same thing here. Theo Heilger is in prison, and he was given service. And that's the same thing Ottley do. Ottley is the follow-up of Theo now. All speaking their sense. And a good understander, you don't need to talk all kind of melly and racket and thing there. The man explain it, let the man speak and give the classes, because there's a lot of people who can't understand, they're only voting for handouts. That's it.
Yeah.
This is Leo Coffee.
Okay. All right, Leo.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's being relatable and understanding for the people. Get it done. And if what you are asking If you cannot service the people, step down. You see, we use political propaganda, and what they do is when the minister. Let me answer this question real quick, and just to go back to what Leo was saying. I brought to you Curacao, Aruba, Anguilla, and different countries that the government put millions towards the effect of cost of living, the effect of the rise of costs. Curacao, they're paying fees for the bus drivers, diesel, suppressing that so that the bus drivers do not pass the cost on the people who use minimum wage, who work for minimum wage, who use the bus. So do not raise the fare, because in St.Maarten the bus fare will raise just now. You have no choice. Those are things, if he's saying, if you want to service if you don't know how to service the people, then step down. GEBE, they have a member in their coalition in 2011 that reduced the tariff. I'm not making this up. You don't want to do it how we did it, then do it how they did it. Their means and ways are there. When we were there, I gave you the examples of what we did, how we lowered the excess tax on gas, all of those things. Gas I used to fill my thing, $60 used to fill my Jeep. I went just now, I swear to you, I put $70 and it reached halftime. Where we going? And that's me. What about the average worker? The minimum wage worker who just get a car? So, again, you have to want to take the steps. You have to. When I did the minimum wage, I could show you. You could go back. It's there. Go online. No, do not do it to 1,000. Okay, go to 875. Go to 920. Go to 925. This is what I dealt with. Those are the pressures that I was faced. The advice was there. I could look at. You could go back and see. I said no. We're going to 1,000. You know why? I was willing to take that step for the people. When I took the step, my same people started to beat me over the head. But not realizing, wait, this man did something that wasn't done for 7 years. Nobody for the past 6, 7 years raised the minimum wage. Nobody did it. This man did it not once, but twice during his tenure. But we let people gas us up and fool us and blind us and say, only 1,000. But we was at 7. You know what I'm saying? This time here now, it was raised. It was raised by 20 cents. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing, Wendell. It makes me wonder. I don't think people understand when I tell them the minister before me did it by 1 gilla cent. Raised the minimum wage by 1 gilla cent. I don't think I understand. Not $1 cent, no, 1 gilla cent. And nobody said nothing. And you have a boy who trying. Why? Because I look like you, talk like you, sound like you. We have a prime minister. I didn't make this up. He went to Holland and said 75% of St.Maarten is illiterate. I asked him, where you get that from? Uneducated. Where did you get that from? He turned around now and said, all the doctors are unqualified. I didn't make this up. Tell they had to put a whole correction. Went to Curacao and said, we're beggars. Say it on the radio, say, man, people want beggars. We're uneducated, we're beggars, we're unqualified. This is your prime minister saying this, the leader of your country. This is what you voted for. 1,300 votes. And I'm hearing no one, everybody just accepting it. Why? I cannot understand. When we were there, the police marching the road. I see LBs not getting signed. Things not in progress. And don't get it wrong. The union leader, he coming out, he's speaking, he's saying what he's saying. And maybe it's difference in leaders, how he handle things and how the other. But I wonder, I said, well, where's the energy? Fire department. When we did that motion of disapproval against Luke Marcelina, Rayon Peterson was the only one who voted for it because we said you are not handling the process good. You are ignoring the firefighters for all of these, well, a year plus. Go slow. It's because Carnival come, you had no choice to sign. Because Crapo would have smoked their pipe. And signing don't mean that they're going to get anything. And the problem with the firefighters, they were saying it. Disrespect. That was their problem. The utter disrespect. That was their issue. Everyone's issue. The said, you're ignoring them. This the leader that they put. This the one that they put. We hungry, we beggars, we want, we uneducated. I didn't say this. Dare me to say this. I don't think I'll be able to walk to my car with them. I don't understand why we are allowing them to get away with absolutely doing nothing. Nothing. And if we don't stop that precedent, if we don't stop it, and I think we have this thing.
How could we stop it?
We have the power. You know this thing with Nell? The hardest thing to do, people say, is to be successful where you were from. There are people that know you from your past that don't have access to your present, so they don't want to push you to the future.
Let me take a question for you from a caller. Yes, caller?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Hartley. Good afternoon to the public of St.Maarten. Mr. Hartley, you're so right. Whatever you're saying right here, right now. This Prime Minister here is dormant. Nothing is being done on our island right now. Now, if you look at St.Maarten right now, right, the honest person had a good opportunity and was doing things for this island was Theo, or the Watties. All right? Just let me speak out, please. And today, right now, for the past years, St.Maarten become dormant. Nothing is going on for the people of St.Maarten because of the local people is not standing up for the right place in the island. And these foreigners comes in here, all these businesses coming in here, taking advantage of the local people. And we give them the opportunity to give them an opportunity to make money. But still, when they make money, all that money is not staying in our country. That is going out of our country. And our local people are suffering on our island. Cost of living is going up every day. Prices are going up every day. And government is just sitting there because they are collecting somewhere on the side. Somebody is collecting money on the side. Because when you look at the businesses, I had businesses. I had a supermarket. Now I'm a taxi driver. I'm running taxi now. Now as Mr. Hardy said, gasoline here is expensive. Very expensive. 90% of the people are boiling. Why? Because of the war, what the United States causes Israel to Iran. And that's where the situation come with all this problem. But as government have to give the local people a relief. But they are not looking after the local people. They are looking after the foreign people. And they are actually getting away scot-free without paying taxes. And they live in lavishing while your people on the island are suffering. Man,
Okay.
4 years comes very fast, sir. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Yeah. Obviously, these are some of the observations that people have when it comes to what's going on. You want to speak to that
Yeah,
briefly
yeah.
because
The gentleman is 100% correct. The gentleman, he's a taxi driver. He will be forced to raise his prices and his fares on the passengers. It's the only way to survive.
You just can't raise it like that though.
No,
it has to be done in approval by government.
But they will be forced. They will be forced to. You cannot stop it. I just told you 60 years to fall in my car, and now I just put 70 and it took me half. You will be forced. It's inevitable because they also have to survive. Or what you will have is a strike.
Yeah.
And if the taxis strike, the island in uproar. If the bus strike, the island in an uproar. Because before, when we were there, right, when I was there was also talks of, okay, let's go up. And I said, okay, I understand there was no indexation, but we'll go up, but there will be no indexation of increase in price for minimum wage workers or seniors. Yeah. Those are things on how we're going to decide for that. But it's inevitable because what happens, cost, he said it, how in the world this could be? United States, Iran, Venezuela, all of them in the issue. United States, and St.Maarten gas more expensive than United States. How? Make it make sense. And when I did the MR said for the Minister of TEAT to set a maximum pricing on fuel sold to St.Maarten. One, she does it at the pump already. Two, do it for fuel sold for electricity. If we do not maximize salt, they can charge us what they want.
Yeah. And I wonder if there's going to be any halt on the prices and what would be done to be able to...
There will be no halt. I'm sad to say there will be no halt. Because if you want to do it, you'll do it. But I can tell the people this, I can almost guarantee this. If elections should be coming, Or in 2028, you're going to see wonders going to happen. But between now and then,
But what
they
about
are going to make
what
you
about
suffer.
the talk that government makes more money when they go up with the gas? The higher the gas is, the more money government makes. Do they see that as a revenue
They
generating
see
measure?
it because they charge double TOT. So they don't mind. When they tell you we're making 20 million a month and 20 million, they don't mind. My motion asks them stop the TOT for a period of a year. They can't because we're making money. But you're making money on who? On the backs of the people. And I want people to hear me and understand. That's why I love to come on this station, because your listeners, they are involved, they're interactive. So that means I know they're listening to what I'm saying. I presented options and means and ways from sitting in opposition bench to make this government shine. I even had tell this minister who went home, Versa, I said today, I have a lot of low-hanging fruits. Let's meet. Let's meet and I'm going
And
to
low
give you
hanging fruit
like
is
things that
simple
could be
things that
done.
you could
I
handle.
say, you're missing out on a lot of things. Let's meet. He asked me at that time, he said, for what? I said, for what? And I never heard from the minister. You understand? Still defended, because right is right and wrong is wrong. It wasn't about my personal feeling. You understand? It wasn't about my personal feeling. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not making this up. The people are feeling it. The people of St.Maarten are feeling it. So, all I'm going to say is, you said it right, Carla. 4 years come very fast. But the way things are going, I don't see 4 years. But remember clearly what this government is doing. Remember clearly who were, you know, a lot of people calling and saying like Teo.
Yeah.
What is so funny is that when I was executing as a minister, and this is one thing that everybody say, they say you work, you execute. And they would always use this word. We didn't see nothing like that since a young Teo. They would never just say Teo.
Yeah.
They always used to say, you execute like a young Teo. Because you have to have vision, means, ways. But what happens when you have vision, means, ways, and the people start to love you? They lock you up. But that's for another story we're going to talk about. But from the time your people start to love you and you work for your people,
Come on.
they lock you up.
Carly, you want to say something? I'm out of time. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little advice to Mr. Ottley there.
Make it
No
fast. I'm
matter
out
what
of
they
time.
do to you, just keep your head up, because I see the government is going to all extreme to keep you from being a minister. But remind them, Isaiah 54:17 tells you, no weapon that form against you will proceed.
Okay.
And Mr. Ottley, keep your head up
Thank
and
you.
move forward. I know you're there to represent us, and you will do it in the time to come. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Moore,
you.
to
Okay.
give me this time.
Okay. Well, that's going to end it for today. You want
Well, Mr. Moore, you see one thing, if you don't believe, people got to believe there's a God, because that message I needed to get. And I thank the caller for that blessings. And that's one thing that I do and I say every
No,
day.
but it's easy to get discouraged when you're having
Very.
all these
Very
pushback
much.
on everything that you're attempting to do.
Very much.
But the genuineness will come out eventually. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your time. Thank you for explaining where we're at. That's going to be it for today. We want to thank you for joining us on Viewpoint. We'll be back tomorrow, God's willing. Come and join us then. In the meantime, you take care, folks. We got to go. Goodbye.